Teach2Teach Radio. Teach2Teach Radio. Education for all, for all, for all. Education for all, for all.
Welcome to Teach2Teach radio program. Today we'll be looking at drug taking as well as drug abuse among our youth. With me to do the discussion are...
I am Yakubu Suibatu from Warba Akuku Ahmadiyya Primary.
I'm Abdullah Swaliho, a teacher, Penduli EA Primary School.
I am Zakaria Fatima from Penduli EA Primary School.
And I'm Zublim Hadi, a teacher from Warba Akuku Ahmadiyya Primary School.
I am Alhaji Mohammed Al-Hassan Karimu, the moderator for this particular discussion. As I said, we'll dwell much into how drugs affect our children's education. If our children get themselves used to taking in drugs or abusing drugs, how will such a thing affect their education? You can tell us your experience about drug abuse.
I'll start by trying to explain to our listeners what drug abuse is. So when we talk of drug abuse, to the best of my understanding, it means using legal or illegal drug the way it shouldn't have been used. So when you do that, that is what we call drug abuse.
To add to what Mr. Hardy is saying, it simply means that any substance that is taken in, either legal or illegal, without the prescription of a qualified medical doctor, is said to be drug abuse in my point of view.
Let's have your own personal experience.
In my community where I stay, many people in their community take some substances like what we call sniff. So they do take them, and it is not by the prescription of any qualified medical doctor. So in these instances, that is what we call drug abuse, because no doctor prescribed it for them. They just feel that when they take it, it is good for them, but they don't even know whether it has effects on them or not.
Can we align or link it to the education of our children? We want to see examples from our schools, students in particular, the youth who find themselves in such situations. And finally, how does it affect their education?
I have experienced one in my community. I know of a boy in JHS who is taking in cigarettes and some kind of energy drinks. He takes energy drinks and cigarettes, and a girl in our house is in same class with that boy. She's been saying it that because of the kind of substances he's taking, sometimes leads to like either absenting himself or he will leave the house to come to school, but at the end he won't be in school. And sometimes too he will take it and come to class. He won't be normal as he is, and even the colleagues here to get close to him. And with this, it even like decreases his learning abilities, since he doesn't be in class or the colleagues cannot come into contact with him. So it is bringing him down.
Okay, that's
I
fine.
also have experience in my former school. The boy was in class 3. We had to do follow-up to the house. When we went to the house and we inquired, the parents didn't know anything. So we had to ask around the community with the friends, and we were told that the boy usually takes drugs, tramadol, that they will give him the drugs and energy drink, so that early in the morning he will put it inside the drink and take it. Then when he comes to school, he will be confident and he will get the energy to do anything that he wants. Always when he takes it and comes to school, he will be acting abnormal. So when we came back to school, we sent the boy back to the house and we told the parents to monitor him, because they didn't even know what was happening until we reported it back home. So with this, he's not even in his normal sense. How can he concentrate in class?
Yeah.
So it affects their education very bad, because his academics will be going down.
Alaji, to me, I would say before we move into the effects or impact of drug abuse on the education of our children, so first of all, I would have liked us to talk about why the youth or people normally abuse drugs. So if we are able to outline the causes or why they take drugs, maybe we can also use that when we come to how to fight or eradicate. So with me, I would say that many of our youth, or sometimes people abuse drugs because of physical pain. And I have example in my community. My uncle's son, one day the guy couldn't wake up. So we thought it was a severe sickness. So we were all alarmed. So we took this guy to the hospital. So the doctor did all his checks. So he told the doctor that yesterday night that his head was just aching him severely. And he decided to take 6 pieces of tramadol. 6 pieces of tramadol just to bring down that physical pain. So these are some of the things that normally let our youth or children abuse drugs.
Yes, just as he's putting it.
We can.
Yeah. In our school, once in the morning we came and I realized that there was pieces of marijuana in the class. So when we assembled the students and we're trying to find out, we realized that it was the brothers who usually come at night and take those things.
Are they also students?
They were GHS students. So the children were telling us what usually happened. So from that, I follow up and I realized that those students, it was costing them a lot and they were not even going to school. Sometimes I go to find out from their head. The head told me that they usually come, sometimes they don't come. So when I went to the parents say yes, they are aware of it, but it's through their friends. So one of the causes of it is just the peer influence. It makes them not to go to school regularly.
So it brings about truancy.
You can also say poor academic performance.
Very good. Poor academic performance. Right. Thank you very much.
Teach2Teach Radio, education for all, for all, for all.
How can these youth or students stay away from taking in drug, or what can they do to move away from it? Yes.
I think it will come from we the educators. We realize that there is the need for us to have our community meetings. Then we develop a plan how we will be able to solve this. And we realize that there should be more education.
Okay, creating the awareness.
Awareness.
To add to what my brother has said, there should be law enforcement on it. If you find students taking it, even some teachers also taking those things, which can affect the performance of the children. Because if they take it and they are not of themselves, they can maybe do something different. So I would say there should be law enforcement so that we can control it.
Yeah.
In our school, we have a health action plan.
Very good.
And we make sure that every morning at the assembly ground, we have one health issue to discuss. Sometimes we talk of malaria, sometimes we talk of drug abuse, sometimes we talk of teenage pregnancy.
I think when they organize educational programs to educate the children on the effects of taking drugs, so when you tell them about how it will affect them, within themselves, when they sit and think about it, I think they will be able to stop taking those drugs.
So what are some of the examples we can give to the students?
Some of the examples we can give to the students during this sensitization period, we do use people who are into drugs and it has landed them into very critical chronic diseases. We use those people as examples. And even those who even pass on as a result of this drug abuse during our sensitization, we use them as examples.
Now let's look at the community level. Do they pass on sections to their siblings?
Many parents or brothers pass drug abuse to their siblings, and sometimes they do it knowingly or unknowingly. For example, as an adult, you have been to the hospital and they give you medication. So what you have to do is that when you take your medicine or your drugs, afterwards you have to hide it in a place where the children cannot see it. Children copy normally all what they see their parents doing. So in this instance, it will reach a time that they will not be also practicing it themselves, which means that it is you, the parent, who have passed it on to your own kids, but you did not know. So even when you see some of our drugs, they normally kept these writings on it: keep all medicines away from children. So if you don't look at this and you leave it a place where they can easily have access to it, you can pass it on to them.
Do we have any
I
example?
also agree that they pass it on to their siblings.
Okay.
Most of them, when they take the drugs, they become addicted to it. They don't see the effects again. So when they don't see the effects anymore, they believe that it's working perfectly for them. So when their brothers complain of a little thing, you will advise them to take what he is taking. So in the process, they are passing it. Because when your brother also takes it, then the next time he feels what he felt and you told him to take it again, he will also go back and take it again. He's also becoming addicted. So by the end of the day, they are all the same.
So I will also agree to the fact that they pass it on to their siblings. This is happening where some of them send their brothers to buy it for them. And by so doing, for them seeing them using or taking it, they will also, when they want to hide and take it, they may do it even more than what their brothers are doing. And with that, it can lead to death, because if you take something which is maybe heavier than you should have taken, it can lead to death.
Okay.
Teach2Teach Radio, education for all, for all, for all.
Now let's look at what parents can do to help minimize or prevent their children from taking drugs or abusing drugs.
I would say that parents have a lot to do to prevent their wards or their kids from taking drugs. And one of the ways they can use is by giving them proper upbringing. You always try to sit with the child, engage the child, talk to him about what is good and what is bad for him. So when we do these things, through this discussion or this engagement, so we can use a lot of examples to tell the child so that it will stick into the head of the child and he also move away from it.
That means they should be observing their children. They should try to have communication between them so that they will be able to identify that early. They will be able to advise them dangers or risks involved in drug taking.
Do we have any?
I think that parents should be closer to their kids. When you are closer to your kid, I think whatever is bothering the child, he will be able to confide in you. And you should also monitor them all the time so that the friends will not be able to influence them negatively.
Yeah, Madam Suiwa.
Parents should be curious about the behaviors or the actions of their children.
All right, let's just use some 30 seconds each to summarize. Yes, starting from Madam Suiwa. 30 seconds.
I will conclude by saying teachers or people who can help bring down or even stopping the use of drugs by children.
I think parents should take responsibility or take care of their wards. Some of them may indulge in it as a result of lack of care.
I think parents and teachers or caregivers should always educate their children on the effects of taking drugs. Yes, without prescription.
Okay.
We love children and they are our future leaders. They mean a lot for us as a nation. Because of that, I am encouraging both parents and we teachers to do all that we can to take them away from this drug abuse, which can be very, very distracting to them in their life. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All too soon. Our time is up and we hope to meet again next week, this time around, to discuss another topic. We hope you will make yourself available again, just like you have done, so that we are able to educate our community members. Together, we are able to solve the problems that encounters our children's education. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Teach2Teach Radio. Teach2Teach Radio. Education for all, for all, for all. Education for all, for all.
Hi, this is Wiyala. I support Teach2Teach because education changes lives, especially for girls. So let's take advantage of the positive impact education can have on our lives, our communities, and our people.
Teach to Teach is produced by Teach2Teach International in collaboration with the Center for Literacy and Vocational Studies, Ronin Africa, and Radio Savannah. You can find Teach2Teach International and Teach2Teach Radio on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook.